Alright, so the papers are now adhered. Yeah, they're stuck down. So we still have just our basic flap. We have our background paper, and this is actually a little bit of a pocket right here. It's a very shallow one. It's not built up, but it'll be adequate to stick a little tag or mat down in there. So now what I want to do is I want to get the two main ones centered. Now, here's the tricky part. We have to make sure they don't extend too far to this side, because this one is going to be right there. So maybe we should put this one down first. And we want to center it, and I just eyeball everything, and sometimes it's not perfect. That looks pretty darn close to me. Let's see, how do I want to do that? I want to get it as far over as I can without having it rub. So I'm thinking right there looks good. Get our tape backing off. Here's the part where I hold my breath like every time. Let's see, right about there. Alright, open it up, burnish it down really well. I just don't know where I get all the tiny little white specks. I think it's from glue that I get off my fingers and it ends up everywhere. Whatever, doesn't matter, does it? Okay. Now, is that going to, oh yeah, just perfect. And also, we have to make sure that these two don't rub. Remember, we cut them just a smidge short. So, let's try. Alright. Again, here I go with the eyeballing. And you know my eyeballs aren't even that good, but that's what I rely on. Now this one, since it's longer, I can push it down and sneak the tape backing off. I like that better. I really prefer to do it that way. Just makes me feel more confident. And make sure we're good here. Good there. We're good everywhere. I don't want too big of a gap here, because what's going to happen is the paper back here is going to show through. Just lay something down so we can get an idea. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Okay. Alright, I think that's where I want that one. So here I go. Holding my breath, and it just moved. I felt it. Okay. There it is. Alright. Now, before we can put down our background paper here, or paper on the back of this, we need to place a magnet. Because remember, I want this one to hold these two down. So I'm going to put my magnet in the center, and I'm going to use a bigger one. I use two different sizes. I use like these little ones, and then I use the bigger ones, depending on what I'm trying to hold down. And they're really good friends, as you can see. They like to hang out together. Alright, so let's open this up and grab two. And these are like 5/8 of an inch, I believe. Put them apart. Alright, now I want this far enough in that I can mat around it and cover it. So I'm just going to get my art glitter glue and put a smudge on the back. Eyeball it for center. And like I said, not too close to this edge. Well, that was good. Alright, not too close to the edge. And then I put a piece of score tape over it. Okay. So there's our little magnet. Now let's get its buddy and do that. And just put glue right here. Then open up your flaps. Hold on, I gotta close my glue. Fold this over to where it's gonna land. Okay. And your glue marks where it goes. So peel it off of there. Put it right there where you marked it. And again, grab your glue. Stick it down. Alright, so let's see if it works. Ta-da! Alright, that was super simple. I know that's probably an odd place to start decorating. I may have to trim those just a smidge. Dang it. We'll see what happens when I finish putting paper on them, because that makes them heavier. And if you see these ends are like kind of sticking up, it's bowed just a little bit. When we put paper on the other side, that's going to help straighten that out. But if we have to, we will go in with our scissors and we will just trim the teeniest little bit off of these corners. But let's see if we can get away without it. We'll just see where it goes. Alright, so I'm not sure what we want to do next. We might want to... Maybe I should design my covers. I was just looking at images and I liked the way that those three laid out, and so I decided to find a spot for them. That's what I did. I think we'll probably end up on the back cover maybe doing a flap up and a flap down. So let's look at those images again and see what calls to me next. In the meantime, I am going to have my tea this morning and come back to you. Okay, so I had planned to go through and map out the rest of the album and have everything planned and then come back and turn the camera on and shoot it. Unfortunately, I just don't work that way. So here's where we're at. I decided to do the cover. I wanted to go ahead and design the cover. So what I've done is I've cut my background paper for my cover. And this is 8 3/4 by 6 3/4, which is just a 1/4 inch short lengthwise as well as widthwise. I used a stub edge. The crocodile, it's got stub on one side, deco on the other. I put stub corners, but you know what? They're probably going to end up being covered up anyway, so probably doesn't matter, but I did it. And then I used this cut apart. I just thought she was really pretty. And I used a 1/2 inch rounding on the corners for that one. I didn't want to use a 1/4 because this, you know, has the circle inside, so I used the 1/2 inch. And then I have gone in and used the black soot distress ink for all of my edges. Alright, then what I did was I went and I fussy cut this dress form, this winged dress form, off of, well, it's one of the papers. If you have the collection, I'm sure you can find it, but, you know, I should probably have that ready to show you. So many gorgeous papers. It's in here, I swear it's in here. Oh, you know what? No, it should be in here. Well, I can't find it, of course, now that I'm looking for it. So, let's see what was on the back. Oh, that beautiful green. Oh, and I think I cut it up for a page that we're going to do. Anyway, it's fussy cut off one of the images. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to adhere this piece to the lower right-hand corner of our front cover background. Okay, and this is my art glitter glue with that fine tip. I love that fine tip because, you know, what's our secret to using glue on paper to keep it from buckling? make sure your glue bead is very, very thin, but your paper isn't. So that is my rule. And I'm going to set this in about 1/4 inch from the bottom, 1/4 inch from the side. Okay. And you know me, I'm going to burnish it down. Okay. Now, I'm not going to put this piece on yet because I plan to do some lace on this side where the spine is, and I want this to sit on top of the lace. So let me grab my cover and bring it over and show you what's going on. Before I can put this piece down, I would like to put this pretty rust colored seam binding ribbon across here, but I need to get my placement. In order to do that, I need to lay my other elements on so I know exactly how high up I want to get that ribbon. I'm a little excited about this cover because I think it's going to be gorgeous. I really do. I cut my lace. Alright, and it's going to go in the center, and it's going to wrap around. So how pretty is that? I picked out these corners because I think they're gorgeous, and they're going to go there. And then this is going to sit in here somewhere. Now see, I need this lower. I think I want it about right. I think I can get an idea like that. But I also grabbed the sticker sheet and I used these little tan background, beige background, whatever, stickers, and I made the word reminisce on a piece of black cardstock. Okay? And I'm looking now, and that end looks just a smidge wider. Gosh, I don't know if I can take off just a teensy little bit. And I took off too much. Should have left it alone. There. Alright. Now, I haven't decided if I want to put the reminisce on the ribbon or under the ribbon. That looks pretty, but here's my other thought. I kind of liked these flutterbys. What I was thinking was to put the flutterbys on the ribbon. Will the ribbon show? Barely. Okay, that would work. And then put reminisce under. Do I want to do that? I don't know which way I want to do it. That's going to be a little further up, so I have room to move that. I think I want it like that. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, decisions. Butterflies reminisce. Reminisce. Flutterbys. I like the butterfly or the flutterby, whatever. I like this sticker on this ribbon. And then I think I want reminisce down below it. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little black soot on here. But then I'm going to put it back on my sticker sheet because I don't want to put it on my ribbon until I have my ribbon in place. So I make sure I get this where I want it. I know, I just get ahead of myself. And I want to get everything done at the same time. You can't do that. Alright, before I can move on, I need to get this ribbon down. And I want it there. So what is that? I'm looking at about 1 inch above the cutout. Okay, see, it looks totally different when you get all your elements off. So that's why I had to put everything together to figure out how to place my ribbon. So I want my ribbon about 1 inch above. And I think what I'm going to do here, it's touchy, you know, gluing this to paper. I have to be very careful. And I cut it long enough to wrap around so I can glue it to the back side. Okay, about 1 inch above. And, alright, I gotta tack it down, so. It's scary to me, because you know this is going to come through just a little bit. The back side doesn't bother me at all. I can glue that down and not worry about how it looks, but I'm a little cautious of glue, paper, ribbon, this whole situation. But I want it there because I think it's pretty, so I'm going to do it. I'm just going to try really hard not to screw it up. Alright, so I've got my ribbon. I know basically where I want it. Do y'all hold your breath? I just hold my breath sometimes. I want it right there. There. See how it just pokes right through? So you got to be real careful. And I'm very lightly pressing this down with my bone folder because it's Teflon and the glue won't stick to it, whereas my finger kind of sticks and pulls and I could make a bigger mess. Alright, let's see if we can get it reasonably straight. Close enough for me. Turn it over. Oh, I forgot I've already put score tape on the back, so let me just pull that down. I probably should have waited and put the score tape over top of the ribbon, but it didn't go that way, so there it is. And then down here we're just going to do the same thing, and probably hear Judge Million in the background on People's Court. Oh, I like the company. People talking in the background. Alright. Oh, shoot. What am I doing? I'm making a mess. Okay. I just don't want it bunched up on the back. Make a wrinkle in my paper. Alright. Alright, it's reasonably straight, reasonably taut. So I'm leaving it alone because our other elements that we're going to glue on top here and there are going to help hold it down. At least that's what I'm counting on. Alright, so there's that. I think maybe now our next step is to go ahead and put it on the cover because I want to get that lace in place. Lace in place. Okay. And let's see, got to make sure it's even. I got about 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. So we'll get that on there. It's going to be such a cute cover. I'm all excited about this cover. I never know how to do covers, and I see them pieced and they're so stinking pretty, and then if you piece it wrong it can look kind of tacky, kind of junky. Get too little, get too much. I don't know. You know what, before I do that, I think I want to put just a 1/2 inch strip of tape right down the middle. So grab my score tape here, move that out of the way, just put one semi in the middle. I'm not going to measure, but you know, I don't measure much. So, there we go. I measure my paper. I just don't measure for placement very well. I get too excited. I want it down, so I just go. Alright, so let's put some glue all around. And where I want to make sure that we have adhesion right there. Excuse me, since the tape was underneath. Just want to make sure. So we're doing a combo of tape and glue. I do that frequently. I like the glue around the edge, I mean the tape around the edges, so I don't make a mess with the glue. But too much taping just, it takes so much time and it's so expensive. Grab the glue when you can. Alright. So we are ready to stick this down. Trying to make it easier, I'm going to lay this out. I don't know if that makes it easier or not, but that's my theory. You know what? I'm going to just tack down this ribbon a little bit so it doesn't wiggle around on me. Get it nice and straight. Yeah, nice and straight and me are not real good friends. Okay, here we go. Time to hold our breath again. Jeez. Alright, looks about right at the top. Looks about right at the bottom. Looks pretty good on the sides. Drop it. Alright. And then search for the bone folder. Oh my gosh, that's always part of my process. Are y'all noticing that? Stop and search for the bone folder. Alright. Too much stuff laying around. Alright, so maybe it could have been a little closer to the top. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I will take it. Alright, get it down really well. Just treat that ribbon very gingerly. Alright, and I think the next step is going to be this lace piece. Because it's going to be a booger. Ah! There we go. So here's the plan. Alright, I'm making sure that I'm not messing up anything on the inside there. Alright, so the plan is to center this lace down the spine. I'm going to cut another piece and butt it up next to it, going the other direction like this. And then I'm going to take a piece of the beautiful rust ribbon and go right down all of it. Okay? But for now, all I care about is my front piece. So, you know, I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. I think the art glitter glue might work, but I just don't have that much experience with it, and I know this is a nice gel, and so my things are going to stick to it really well, my lace, and hold it in place, and I think it won't slide as much. Alright, that's my theory. That's what I'm going to try and do. So, for now, I'm just adhering this to the spine. Okay, I'm not doing the front cover yet because I don't know how far I'm going to need it until I have my lace in place. So, and I've also cut it a little long to fold over into the inside of the book, which we may cut that off. We may, I don't know yet, but I left it there till I figure it out. Alright, so I want that about there, that about there, and just press it down. Does it look straight? Okay. Reasonably straight. Press it down. And boom, it's down just that quick. I like that. And I cut it a little long, but that's alright. That's okay. Now, for the front, for adhering the front part, I think I'm going to put it on the lace. Oh, and I didn't even check the side of my lace. Did I get the right side of my lace? Actually, I didn't. Dang it. The lace is on upside down, but you know what? There's not a huge difference. I'm just going to leave it because, dang it. See, y'all are learning so much from my mistakes. I get ahead of myself. But the lace is so gorgeous that the backside is pretty too. Nobody's going to know, but all y'all watching this. Just everyone that watches the tape will know that my lace is upside down. Shh! It was meant to be that way. It's a distressed vintage look. It's pretty lace. Sorry, Tammy. Messed up your pretty lace application. And like I said, I'm not doing these ends yet because I'm going to figure them out. I want to get my cover finished first. That's my priority right now. Alright. This stuff is stinky, but I like it. For fabric and for lace. Alright, now I'm hoping that my placement's going to hide my little glue spots on my ribbon. Okay. I love it. I love it a lot. And this is going, it's not going to cover that. Dang it. Put it lower, but I don't want it lower. Alright, and oh, by the way, I did use my little Tim Holtz distressing tool around the edges of this after I fussy cut it. And I fussy cut it about 1/8 of an inch away from the design. And this one I actually did not ink in black soot like I did everything else because it's going into my background, and I thought it would look more vintagey if I used the ground espresso. So that is actually done in ground espresso. The distressing part. Okay, so that's going to go about there. Now up higher, move it, maybe angle it a little better because I want the reminisce. And where are my butterflies? Alright, so, and maybe the butterflies go underneath that. Alright, here we go. And for the life of me, I don't know right side up on these butterflies. Because one's up, one's down. So I think I'll put it to where, since it's an odd number, I'll have the most going up. And placement here. Up. Well, let's put it about right there. Get it centered. Hold your breath. There we go. Got that there. Let's have a look at our corners. I'm not going to glue them down now because I want to open this and work. And I'm going to use the E6000 and it takes a while to dry. So I'll probably glue these on when I'm ready to stop working for the day. I just wanted to set them there for my placement here. And I think I want it about right there. Ah, I think that's so pretty. I'm tickled with it. Alright, so let me try and remember where it is exactly. Because you got to move it to put your glue on. And then I forget exactly where it was. And I got that too much glue, too close to the edge. It's going to make a mess, so. Alright, we are just gluing her down here. Okay. Now, where was it, y'all? It's about there, about there. And I'm just putting that little point right kind of in the point of the butterfly to keep the lines together because I like that. Alright, so now I'm just going to burnish it down as best I can. Should I put that under that lace? I kind of liked it on top of the lace for the wing. Maybe this part goes under. Is it stuck all the... No. Let's see if I like it under. Yeah, I do. Okay. And that glue should dry clear, and that should be fine. And just make sure that adheres well. Might need a little more glue. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Well, except that it's not stuck down all the way. Other than that, what have we got going on right there? Oh, you know what that is? That's where it's distressed. Okay. I'm not going to mess with it too much because I will make a mess. Y'all have seen that I am good at doing that. Okay. Since that's on the fabric, I'm grabbing the Fabri-Tac for that little area right there. I'm just going to put it on that lace. Okay. I think that's going to do a little bit better job. It's pretty thick. Got some bulk. Okay. All right. What do y'all think? We need to glue that down. That's what I think. And then those will be there. And I'm thinking maybe some gears down here. And now let's go inside and see what we're going to do about this lace on the inside. Let's put that down first. Reminisce. I just thought that word went better with the vintage looking, whatever. It's like an old time word with some old time picture. I didn't want to say memories or, I don't know. I started to do reminiscences. But you know, that's a long word and I didn't want it to take up the whole thing. Alright. That looks good. And I realize that this isn't centered with this, but I don't care. This is centered over this, and this is centered in between the edge and this image, and it kind of staggers. That's really what I had in mind. You may not care for the look of that, so you may want to do yours a little different. Now let's see. To wrap this lace inside, a couple things need to happen. We're going to do some trimming for sure. Let me get my inks out of the way so I don't get it on something that I don't want it on. Alright, so number one, we have to trim this to go in front of our binding. Alright, so we're going to cut this off. Number two, where it folds, we're going to cut it. We're going to actually do a bit of a V. Okay. Okay. And then let's cut that little guy off right there. Alright. I think that's going to do it. Might as well just get rid of that little... Okay. Get that out of the way. That'd be a mess, wouldn't it? And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to roll it around. I want to make sure it comes around this corner. That's why I cut the little V in, to keep the bulk out of the corner, out of the bend, and easy peasy. So again, I'm using my Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to put it right on this edge. That's important to me. And then onto the lace itself. Okay, there we go. Let's start here. Fold it in. This grabs pretty quick, so you don't have to hold it too long. And then fold that right around. And you've got it up on that edge, so press it down. And press it down. Now I'm going to lay it back down flat, so you can probably see it a little better. Here we go again with the black on black, huh? You just want to roll it around with it in that bent position just to make sure that, you know, you have it where it's going to work when it's closed. Okay, kind of want it to dry that way, but I kind of don't because I don't want that page getting caught in it. Let me just take that page and put it out. And then do that. And voila! We have the top done. Really was not that complicated. It's one of those things where you're like, oh gee, how am I going to do that? And it seems like it's going to be, nah, nothing but a thing. Alright, now we're going to do the exact same thing down here. We're going to see how much I need to cut off. Quite a bit needs to come off down here. Because I just, you know, cut it roughly. I didn't measure. I just wanted to make sure I had enough to roll it over. Alright, and now we need to take our little wedge out in the corner. Oops, sorry, hitting the camera. Cut our wedge. Let me turn it around this way. Okay. Let's make sure that's going to work. I think I need to cut a little more out. There. Alright, grab our glue and repeat the process that we did on the top. This stuff is messy. I still like it. And the little strings come off real easy if you get, you know, if you get it where you don't want it. They kind of roll off like your hot glue does. Alright, let's put this down first. I can't see the inside because I've got it turned around. Okay, yep, can y'all see it? Just fussing with it a little bit. Turn it around. Lay it down. Alright, so I made a little bit more of a mess with this one. Little piece right here that needs to come off. There. I just want to cut this off because when I go to mat this page, that's going to be in my way. There we go. Alright, now I think we should leave this alone so it sets up nice. So, messy, messy, messy. Okay. That is pretty much our cover. What do y'all think? I wish I could hear somebody answer. You know, I'm always asking you what you think, like I can hear you. Alright, I think we're going to add some gears right here. But I don't want to do it right now, because what I want to do right now is I want to show you what I came up with for this inside cover. So what I've done here is I've cut my first, you know, my base page at 6 1/4 by 8 3/4. I know you've heard that before. It's what this one was, and it's what the back cover was. Well, no, the back cover I cut just a little bit bigger. Anyway, the difference on this one is, well, let me show you the other piece first. I also cut a piece of my black cardstock at 5 1/2 by 8 1/4, and I scored it on the long side at 7 3/4. Now, the reason I did this is because I wanted to use this image from the paper, and I cut her out at 5 1/4 by 7 1/2. So 5 1/4, 7 1/2. We're going to center that on here, and we're going to put it on our page, okay? So I want to get this glued down first. I wanted you to see that I did take about a 2 1/2 inch, 2 1/4, 2 1/2 inch piece of the little ribbon, folded it in two, and glued it to the back. I did that as our pull tab because this is a flap, and I'm thinking maybe I should have done it to the back of here. So we're going to have to make sure we get this adhered down really well. So I'm going to do my tape and glue combo. So grab your score tape. I should have done this off camera. Alright, score tape that down. Alright, I'm gonna do this off camera. This video is gonna be very long anyway, so I'm gonna save y'all some boring time. Alright, so our tape is down. I've also put my glitter glue on the inside of the tape. So I've got a tape perimeter, glue in the middle, and we're going to put it on this black cardstock. We're going to have the fold at the top because our flap is going to open up. So we've got the fold at the top. Get this centered, get stuff out of our way. Alright, oh, and I've already done the black soot distress ink around the edge, and I have used the stub corner, and make sure that's down really well. I really think it should have been on the back side of our cardstock to give it, I think we'll be alright. I'm sure we'll be fine. Alright, so that's done. Now I got tricky. Alright, for me it's tricky. For everybody else it just makes sense. Alright, so I folded this down and I centered it on my background paper. And I marked up here at the top where this fold is going to be because I want to hide my flap underneath. And that's why I'm doing this before I adhere it to the page. So what I did was I marked these two edges. I got my Tim Holtz ruler and I measured down from the edge about 3/4 of an inch, or about half an inch, excuse me, about half an inch. Grabbed my X-Acto blade and said shh, just like that. Alright, it's not as scary as it seemed. I was worried about messing it up. It wasn't that big a deal. Now what I'm going to do is I've also mitered my corners, just a little angle in from the score line to the edge, okay? And I'm going to slip this through here, putting it through the slit. Alright, it worked better before I put the score tape on. I put score tape on there, okay? Alright. So, what I want to do is I want to make sure that it's, you know, it's straight, because there's some wiggle room in there. You can attach it wrong. And then make sure it's centered this way. Everything looks good. Wait, it needs to move right to there. Okay. And now, turn it over carefully and hold it down. And put glue under that flap. And push it down. And the reason I didn't use tape here is because I want wiggle room in case it's not 100% straight. And it's not. Yeah, it's okay. I think it's okay. Alright, there it is. Now I think we can reasonably go and attach this. I don't need that anymore. So how pretty is that? Alright, and we're going to need, I've got my, excuse me, I've got my magnets over here, and of course, you know, they just stick to everything because they're very strong. Nice strong magnets. And we're going to grab two. Woo! That is how strong the magnets are. It went through my hand now. Alright, it's the first time that's happened. That was kind of funny. Okay. So I'm going to put this on the inside of my flap. Okay, and again, just glue it. Move it in from the edge far enough to mat over it without, you know, causing any problems. And taper down. Okay, then I'm going to close this, turn it over, and let it find where it wants to live. And just go ahead and glue, no wait. Yeah, I can glue it to the back of this, that works fine. Alright, glue it there. It'll go where it needs to be. That way you don't have to worry about positive and negative. Just let it go where it wants to be, and that's where it goes. Alright. Now, we're going to put this whole, whatever this is, this whole piece, whole element right here. So stinking cute. And you'd think I'd remember to put my tape down. Hold on, I'll be back. Okay, so now we've got our glue down, we've got our tape down. I made sure to run a tape on this flap just to give it extra support. And don't forget to remove your tape from your magnet. So again, we've got the tape and glue situation going on. And I just wanted to make sure we had one right up to that edge and one right on the other side of the edge, just to make sure our flap doesn't pull on that paper, cause any problems for us. So we've got quite a bit of tape, we've got glue in the middle, and we are going to adhere this now. I was just making sure my lace was stuck down over there. Alright, maybe we should flatten this out. So excuse me, just gonna do that. Alright, so let's try and be straight with it. Let's see, right there I think. Done. Okay. Very good. Here I go searching for the bone folder every single time. Okay. I'm gonna open this up and make sure get inside there. Careful, there's a magnet there. Almost ripped my paper. Okay. Pushing down, good and hard. Around the magnet, we're good. Okay. There it is. This is now our inside cover. So we've got the front cover pretty much done. Gonna add some gears, gonna add some corners. Okay, so then we open it up. We haven't done our inside flap yet, but yeah. And then look at that. And you can get good size pictures here. I'm going to mat the back of this next. I should have had that cut and ready to go, but I haven't selected my paper yet. Got our little pull tab. Kind of dig that. Open it up. Again, we haven't done our flaps, but we do have this page now, and I think I want to do one of those little pull tabs. I'm going to put another one of those little pull tabs here, because we haven't mat the back of that yet. I haven't mat the back of this because I haven't selected these papers, so I need to do that. But I tend to do my decorative elements first and see which papers I want to go with those, and then use the others for the places that I don't really have a specific design for. So I just want to get my must-haves out of the way first, so that I don't decide I want something and then the paper's already used and I don't have it. So that's it for right now. Y'all do know that I am an interval crafter, so I think I'm taking a break at this point, and I'm hungry. I'm going to get something to eat, and then we will continue on with our next piece of the puzzle. I need to cut this ribbon. But anyway, so I think it's going to be really cute. Oh, you know what? While I'm taking my break, I'm going to get these corners on, so they'll be dry by the time I get done. So I'm going to use my E6000 with these. I really like that for my metals. I know I use a bunch of different things, and I haven't always. I didn't go out and buy all this stuff for one project. I've just picked it up as I've gone, and I've developed my favorites, and if you haven't already, I'm sure you will too. You know, we just experiment, and what works for me may or may not work for other people. And that's going to go here. Now I'm going to grab my fancy schmancy clamps that I love so much. And I can't pick that up if it's tied, dummy. Alright, right there. Right there. These filigrees are nice and thin and they bend a little bit, but instead of trying to bend it the way I need it, I just clamp it in place and it kind of shapes itself. And I think I'm gonna, oh, it's not gonna reach in far enough, I don't think, to put down that center. Not quite, but I'm gonna use it anyway. There. Come on, I'll hold that for just a minute. And that E6000 will go to work for me. It's another nice thick one. It does take a long time to dry though. But I like the texture, the consistency of it. It's kind of a gel. Okay. Alright, there's the top one. Now, where'd I put the bottom one? There it is. And, you know, glue and filigrees hit or miss. You just get the flat spots where you can and try and get the edges and stick her down. This glue is so thick though, and it's so strong that if, you know, you don't need it everywhere to hold that in place, because where it is, where it has good connection, it's gonna hold. I love it. So I don't have to be perfect. Good thing. Good thing. Ugh. See, me and perfect don't even really know each other. Haven't met. There we go. Ooh, that one's going down. See, that one was just shaped a little bit better for my page. It's easier. Okay. I think we're good. I could have made that a pocket. Duh. 20/20 hindsight. That's alright. Then our reminisce wouldn't show if we had a tag in there. So, I'm very happy